best said, rightly situated with a company or an organization that has similar core values to those that they have gotten in the military. And you're an 82nd Airborne guy, so you know what that's all about. Integrity counts. Teamwork counts. Self-sacrifice counts. All the rest of that. Well, that's not always the case, frankly. So veterans, there's an organization out at Syracuse University. They were the first to put up a major Boots to Business program. And they, in fact, have got all sorts of coursework and information online, Cliff, that employers can access to make to give them some knowledge and information on how to make their organization truly veteran-friendly. And I want to say here, too, a lot of companies want to hire veterans, they really do, but they really have got to have a better understanding of who some of these people are for a couple reasons. Number one, what they've been through, but number one, that these aren't your average folks walking through the door. These people have incredible talents, can do great things. So it's important to get them in there, get them slotted with a goal in mind, and then they want to retain them, Cliff. And I think that's probably the challenge with a lot of companies. These people have an awful lot to offer, and I think it would behoove companies that want to employ veterans to learn more about how they operate, what their experience is, and how to retain them. So that's the challenge right now. Sorry.
And no, I'm sorry. It just what you're saying just makes so much sense because of the various what your MOS was. I mean, some of these people are highly trained, but unless an employer knows that, there's no way to use that talent, right?
Yes, sir. And also, of course, as you and I know, some of these people have had incredible responsibilities early on, relatively early on, chronologically. But as you know, they go in the military and they come out. Their experience base on this planet has been accelerated a lot. So they come out with skills, in my view, often well beyond their peers, civilian peers. That didn't serve. So.
Yeah, that makes. I wonder how many people recognize that. That's why what you guys are doing is so important. And I just enjoy you both, but you're not in the studio with me today, unfortunately. So when I'm talking to you, make sure I know who I am, who's responding, and who I'm addressing. Okay.
You betcha. Yeah, this is just Lynn here for the moment.
Yeah, I know.
Dale's hanging out here too.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you, Lynn. You're great.
You're welcome. You're welcome, sir.
Dale, go right ahead. Add to this.
Well, my take on it is that Lynn and I have determined that a lot of these veterans are really better suited to be in business for themselves. And my experience has been a lot of them are looking to be in business for themselves, which really brought us to the point where we developed a V-Harmony type matchmaking system for veterans that want to get into business and businesses that are looking to sell to them. And that's really where my focus has been. And both Lynn and I work as success managers, really helping these guys and girls navigate their way through developing and operating a business and actually continuing on afterwards. So that's my take on what's going on. Lynn?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that's exactly right. And what Dale said, Cliff, that's what led us, frankly, to form the organization we did, Veteran Business Project, because the reality of it is, especially these combat veterans, they're in many ways better off being the captain of their own rowboat as opposed to being, buried in the engine room of a big ocean liner, so to speak. And it's by way of kind of an analogy.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah, I like that, Lynn. That's interesting. So,
Cliff, history supports that it's absolutely true. Instead of trying to fit in, so to speak, into sort of a corporate setting, and learn what's going on there, they can actually create the corporate setting that they want in their own company. And we want them to be successful. We want them to hire more veterans, mentor them, coach them, all the things that you guys know from the 82nd Airborne and what we know as Marines. That's what makes us special. We take care of our own. So they can do that, Cliff. If they've got their own business, build it, and then bring other veterans in, bring them along too.
How do you gentlemen bring these people in that you can recognize have the ability to own their own business?
Dale, you want to take that one up?
Sure, I'll take that.
Dale,
well,
okay.
We have a website, and we do social media marketing. We market through a lot of the veterans organizations, and so they would come to our website, which is veteranbusinessproject.org, and they would then register with us, kind of give us a little insight into what they're looking for, and then we would help match them up, depending where they are in the country, and if they're looking to move or whatever. And I have to give you a perfect example because as it's pretty crummy here in Chicago right now, as you know.
Sure.
Yesterday was really a nice, brisk day, and we got to take our first ride, at least my first ride, on we helped two Navy veterans buy a retired Chicago, it was a 1935 Chicago fireboat. They are on the water. They're doing tours on the river. We helped them get started. In fact, they pointed out to me yesterday that it was exactly 1 year to the day that they called us and asked for some help and direction. And with the help of Wintrust Bank, who really thought outside the box for these guys, we were able to get them a substantial loan, and they are operating. And I'll tell you, it was a great trip. They gave a great tour. And just, if I might, give them a quick plug, it's fireboattours.com. So any veteran that's in town, if you're up at the naval base finishing school, go down and see these guys. Obviously, today's a little rainy, but they'll be in the water until the end of November. So, Cliff, you're going to be going out there, right?
I sure will. Where do they dock?
They dock directly behind the Columbia Yacht Club, right across from Navy Pier.
Sure, okay, yeah.
So they are the only they're 98 feet of and 98 ton of metal, and it's a big red fireboat, and a very educational tour. And the point I'm making, though, is these are two veterans, Navy veterans, who didn't know what they were going to do with all their experience, and this was a perfect match, and we couldn't be happier for them.
That is a great story, absolutely. That's just great. Fireboattours.com, right?
Correct.
Fireboattours.com. Just great information. We're so pleased to have Dale and Lynn back with us, even though they're not in the studio. We just love them. They give us such great information. If you have a question or a call in, 312-374-8130 is our number. And this is just a great thing. When you talk about the fact that the statistics about World War II vets who ended up owning, those are just unbelievable numbers as compared to now. Is that correct?
It is an unbelievable comparison.
Yeah, Lynn.
Yes, sir. And the big difference, this is Lynn. The big difference is, of course, the post-World War II folks, the way they had their GI Bill organized and laid out at that time, Cliff, they had an option that today, post 9/11 veterans don't have. It's been this way since post 9/11. Actually, it's been this way since the mid-50s. The post-World War II guys and gals, if they wanted to buy a farm or business property, the Fed would be a 50% loan guarantor. And so with community banking, back in that day, being truly community banking, we know that's changed in recent years. And the federal loan guarantee, they got a business. They got a business going. That's what they did. And they did incredibly well. The veterans today can do that. They've got just the same things the World War II guys have. I know, Cliff, I know you know it. I know it. Other people know it, the veteran community. They just need some gas in their tank by way of getting loans, and they can't get there. Currently, it's interesting to me, we'll send a teenager off to college with no credit score or collateral required. They can get tens of thousands of dollars to go to college. But if we've got a corporal machine gunner in the 82nd Airborne that's been over there in the Middle East slugging it out, he comes back, he goes into the bank, and they say, well, young man, what's your credit score and what kind of collateral you got? And that to be along the lines of what the SBA wants for these banks that can guarantee these loans, That means a 680-point credit score for this young soldier. And he has to have $1 worth of collateral set aside, Cliff, for every 3 he wants to borrow. It's just
that's difficult. Yeah.
It's not satisfactory, not at all. Yeah. So we have found our way to this program called the Community Development Financial Institutions Fund. It's a Department of Treasury fund, and we think, Cliff, it's the closest thing to a silver bullet that we've yet come across to help address this lack of access capital issue for our veterans, particularly the junior enlisted veterans. As you and I know, we all know, they do the heavy lifting in combat.
Right.
These are the guys slugging it out. So we think we're onto something, and actually we're going to go, and we're right now in the middle of doing a partnering agreement with one of the major CDFIs. It's out of Oakland, California. We'll be able to apply it all across the country. So,
Lynn, that sounds great. What's the name of that organization that you just mentioned?
Yes, it's out of the Department of Treasury, and it's called the CDFI, Charlie Delta Foxtrot India, CDFI Fund, and that stands for Community Development Financial Institutions Fund. And Cliff, we've talked about the South Side. We're working on the South Side of Chicago. The program was designed for inner city and rural. And in fact, just last week, I was down at my hometown, little burg down in East Central Illinois, and I was talking to the city council and making them aware of this program that exists out there to help veterans, help people get into business. I could go on, but I'll tell you, I don't know if we mentioned this the last time around, Cliff, but the latest statistics from the SBA indicate that 65% of our veterans now live in rural and small-town America. Pretty amazing. So
65%, Lynn, are in those areas, rural areas?
Yes, sir. Yes,
yeah,
sir.
I didn't know that. Okay.
I didn't either. I was surprised.
Wow,
I'm a small town guy, but what I'm saying here is there's all sorts of opportunity, basically, Cliff, everywhere. We've got veterans, but we got to get the word out. And look, you guys could have your own business.
Yeah, which is what we try to do through you folks, is get the word out. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And God bless you for it. Thank you for that. So we're right in the middle of all that right now, Cliff. Right in the middle of all of it.
I just think that's not only what you're doing is great, Lynn and Dale, but when you come up with the information that you're giving us, what you just said, 65% of vets in rural areas and so forth, and there are many that are not in rural areas that don't have anything. I have no knowledge of the program that you have. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. How are we doing with that, Dale? Or either one of you, Lynn, Dale.
Go ahead, Dale.
Yeah. Dale, how are we doing on numbers?
With getting them into business?
Getting people into the Veteran Business Project.
Well, we're getting quite a few people coming in through registration, and I'm handling myself. We've got several success managers, but my load is about 20 people at this point. And I just a couple weeks ago received a business in Des Moines, Iowa. So, because I know you have a far-reaching audience here, it's a national franchise breakfast restaurant like I have here in Chicago. And they are looking for a veteran to put in. They don't want to list it with anyone else. They want a veteran, and we can work with them through the entire process to get them in with financing the whole shot. So, again, if somebody wants to reach us, they go through veteranbusinessproject.org, or I'm going to actually give you my phone number, too, to reach us. It's 833-883-8249. And
repeat that again. Make sure. Repeat that.
Sure. It's 833-883-8249.
8249. Got you. Okay.
Correct. So that's just an example of one of the businesses. We're working with some other franchises, and we have a lot of small operations. People that are looking to sell their auto repair shop. I think there was one down in Sullivan. There was a lawnmower repair shop where the fellow does very well, and it's a great opportunity for a husband and wife to establish themselves in the communities they came from, or where they want to just bring up their kids in a nice, wholesome environment. So that's where we stand there.
I just think it's just great for you gentlemen, Dale and Lynn, to come up with this, because there are so many veterans, as you all know, of course, thank goodness, but you're doing something about it. And I'm sure that these people are going to understand more and more that this is a good thing. And when you get folks involved, like this last issue you just mentioned, that certainly is going to give the indication to others that this is something, other business people, that would want to help bring more veterans into business, right?
Exactly. And as Lynn will tell you, we're about hope. And every deal that goes through and it gets some publicity and some recognition, it offers some hope to maybe some veteran that thinks, geez, there's just nothing out there for me. And that's, as Lynn will tell you, is a pretty dark place to be.
Sure. That's just great. I want to make sure just before, because a lot of people don't have a pen or whatever. I want that phone number. Please give out that phone number.
Sure, you ready?
Yeah.
It's 833-883-8249, and it's veteranbusinessproject.org.
That is great. Veteranbusinessproject.org.
It's singular, yeah, Veteran Business Project.
Veteranbusinessproject.org. And the phone number again is 833-883-8249. Is that correct?
Absolutely correct.
Okay, because I got those first, the 833 and the 883.
That's a little confusing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to repeat it again, because you folks are great. Listen, guys, thank you so much. Lynn, Lowder, and Dale Eisenberg, thank you both. Look forward to seeing you soon, okay?